Kobe and Shaq are one of the best duos ever, but Shaq left Kobe behind in 2005. So today I'm forcing them to stay together forever. But before we get to that point, our story starts off in 1997 where the Diesel first joined the Lakers. He was flashy and dominant in the paint and was going to be the guy to put LA back on the map. At the same time, a rookie Kobe joined the team, but he was on the bench more often than not. By 1998, however, he started to blossom. He still wasn't a starter, but his game improved enough to make his first All-Star game, and come 2000, Kobe and Shaq's chemistry reached its max potential as they ran through the playoffs until in the finals they would face Reggie Miller and the Pacers, who stood no chance, and after 6 games, Kobe and Shaq were winning their first ring together. The following 2 seasons saw just as much success as they completed the three-peat versus the Sixers and the Nets, but in both 2003 and 2004, they would fall short, which brings us to where Shaq decides to leave for Miami. But like I said, we're gonna force Shaquille O'Neal to stay in Los Angeles. Retaining Shaq in 2005 was of course a massive improvement to the Lakers in this reality. However, they did lose some depth from their championship runs, and all the weight would truly be on Kobe and Shaq even more than ever before. Luckily, Kobe had the best season of his career to date. His scoring abilities took another massive jump due to his unbelievable work ethic, and it was enough to earn him his first MVP, and more importantly for him, his team found a lot of success with the first seed. Shaq was injured for the first 2 rounds of the playoffs though, so it was gonna be all on Kobe. Seattle was his first opponent, led by Ray Allen and a well-rounded cast of decent players. The Mamba was the best player on the court by far, and even without a worthwhile team, he was still carrying his group. The first 6 games ended with a 3-3 series tie, and Kobe would have to have an all-time performance to get things done in game 7. With 6.2 left in the clock and the game tied, the ball would be in Kobe's hands. He would drive past Allen and lean in for the jumper to win this series for his team. They'd celebrate now, but it would be short-lived, as in round 2, the Kings took advantage of Shaq missing and beat the Lakers after just 5 games. By this point though, Kobe had proved himself as an elite player. Management was trusting in him after single-handedly carrying the team, and expectations were high in 2006. And they would end up meeting those expectations easily in the postseason with yet another trip to the NBA Finals. Superman versus Superman was the headline for this Finals versus the Magic. Dwight and Shaq were attacking each other back and forth throughout this series. The younger Howard had a lot to prove, and the veteran Shaq was trying to keep up to back up his public trash talk of Dwight. Beyond all of that though, the difference maker in this series would be, by no surprise, Kobe Bryant. With the young Magic team having no reliable checks for Kobe, he was free to score at will however he found fit. Kobe does get a Finals MVP even with Shaq on his team, and only 2 years after staying in LA, the Lakers have already won another championship. Following their 4th championship in the past 7 years, Kobe and Shaq were elated, but their team got much worse in 2007. There was only so much carrying our duo could do, and they would fail to make the playoffs this year. How in the world do you go from winning a championship to not making the playoffs in 1 season? Unreal. The depth issue would be addressed immediately by adding Mike Bibby to run point guard. His playmaking abilities made Kobe's life on the court so much easier by getting him baskets off ball, and Shaq also gained some defensive relief by adding an elite shooter in Dunleavy to hit off of double teams. LA had a fantastic season and we're back in the playoffs again. In round 1, Kobe was matched up versus this year's MVP Steve Nash. He was an elite playmaker paired with an incredible finisher in Amari, and you can't sleep on his scoring ability either. Even though he was known for his passing, he still had the skills to find points for himself and would absolutely show it during this series. The same was true for Amari, who had a legitimate low post game to go along with his gritty physical style of play. Their duo was good, but Kobe was hawking his matchup with Mike Miller. Miller, being a poor defender, put Phoenix in an awful position, and they had to leave him on an island because Kobe was surrounded by shooters or a lob threat with Shaq. So before Nash and the Suns would have a chance to respond, they would find themselves losing after 6. Moving on to round 2, Shaq would be the one to carry his team. With the small David West guarding him for the Hornets, he saw nothing but barbecue chicken in the paint. The Lakers may have been in the lower seed, but you wouldn't have been able to tell the way this series was going. While a young Chris Paul showed off that he was the future of this league, his time was not now, and the Lakers stomped on the Hornets. The conference finals were pretty uneventful. It was versus this Warriors team. I don't even know how they made it to the conference finals, but Kobe and Shaq have a chance to repeat. The only problem is LeBron James would be attempting to stop them. It was the most anticipated matchup of all time that we never actually got, and it was living up to all of the hype. The stakes of this series was so much higher than just winning a ring. It went deeper than that, a lot deeper. Kobe and LeBron were in a duel that would be talked about for the rest of time. This series wasn't about a championship, but more about a legacy-defining matchup in the GOAT debate. Both players ambitiously wanted to sweep the other, but there was no chance that was going to happen. It was a stalemate, and I was here for it. There was 2 minutes left of Game 7, and the Lakers were down 4 with the ball. Of course, Kobe would have the ball in his his hands, but he'd spot Shaq with deep position. Shaq got the ball down low and made a quick move to cut the lead to just 2. The Cavaliers would burn a timeout in an attempt to drop a play. It was for Kyle Lowry, of all people, who would find an opening while everyone was worried about LeBron. After Lowry's heroics, Kobe got by James for an open lay to cut the lead again. LeBron has it here at the top. They're up by 2, trying to extend this lead. He's trying to defeat Kobe Bryant and win his first ring. LeBron goes right by Kobe. The pull-up. It's off. The Lakers have the board. Kobe saw the opportunity and was taking it with a mismatch in the post. He hit a ball fake, go under with the lay, and he sunk it in. Kobe just got this thing all tied up here late in a game 7. LeBron has it down low. 1-on-1 with Lamar on the spin move. He gets down on the Baker. He dunks it on Shaq to lead. LeBron's out here trusting his teammates. Kobe Bryant has it now with a minute remaining. He's down by 2 yet again. He's been clutch so far. He's driving to versus LeBron. He gets down low. He trusts his teammate. Odom dunks it in to tie it. LeBron has it in this head-to-head matchup. 2 all-time greats going at it. LeBron driving on Kobe. He gets fouled. No way. He would hit both clutch free throws before a Lakers timeout. Kobe's going to get off this inbound. It looks like he's wide open. Hit him. They get it to Shaq down low. The quick hook. He's fouled. By an act of God himself, Shaq hit the free throws when they mattered the most. I cannot believe Shaq hit both those free throws. I guess he is clutch. LeBron James, Kobe Gordon Hill, 40 seconds left. They are going back and forth. Neither team has been able to get a stop. LeBron off the screen. The tough leader. He gets it. Oh my God, King James. The Lakers used another timeout. They have it now. Kobe Bryant. We're going to need a miracle to match that LeBron James floater. Kobe's driving it in. He's slowing it down. The lob. What are you doing? A lob in a moment like this? And the Lakers would be devastated after they gave away the series. A revamp of the roster would occur in season 9 with elite dribbler Jamal Crawford replacing Mike Bibby in free agency. He wasn't as good of a playmaker, but he was younger, faster, and a much better scorer. Overall, he fit the team better than Bibby, and he was joined with another newcomer in Rashard Lewis, who was acquired in a Lamar Odom trade. Lewis was athletic, and his incorporation into the front court was perfect with Shaq. Speaking of Shaq, at this point, he was aging, but he was still one of the best centers in the league due to his improved work ethic, trying to keep up with Kobe, who was the clear face of basketball and at his all-time greatest. So Shaq would try to prove his importance come the postseason. During round 1, he looked like he was in his prime again against a second-year Brook Lopez on the Mavericks. Shaq would go on to lead the way to overcome Dallas in just 5 games. Round 2 wasn't going to be as easy for Shaq though. Tim Duncan and Joakim Noah were both controlling the paint and his options were limited. San Antonio had a talented roster run through Tony Parker and Tim Duncan Tatum, and they were up 3-1 in the series. There was one player that wasn't checking out of the series just yet. Mamba mentality was active and the Spurs should be worried. Bryant was a one-man army and there wasn't a soul in the world who was about to slow him down. Single-handedly, he would battle against the stacked Spurs roster and win 1 game at a time. After being down 3-1, he got the series back tied up and was now in the driver's seat, only 1 game away from winning this series. Now motivated by Kobe's passion, his teammates would also keep fighting and the Lakers actually had a chance. Kobe and Shaq are in yet another game 7. Just last season, they lost in the finals in game 7. Let's see if it's different here. Kobe Bryant driving it in. The tough little leaner, that's off. Tim Duncan gets it. San Antonio has it. They were up 3-1 in this series. They had a chance to win, and they have another one here. Tony Parker on this left side. He's got the ice over Jamal Crawford. Tony Parker is looking like it's him here in the clutch, unless they get someone else involved. Tony Parker sizing up Jamal. 6 seconds. He's driving it in. Oh, no, my God. The clean cross into a floater is good. Spurs are up by 1 now. Kobe Bryant has it here. At the top, a small JJ Redick on him. He's got to abuse this mismatch. He drives it in. The pull. He gets it in. 1-point lead, LA. In the corner, Richardson, tough shot. It's off. Timmy gets the board. The leg is in. Shaq with the screen. They get it to Shaq. Shaq, the tough legs on the line. Shaq did end up hitting both free throws. The Spurs used their last timeout. They have the ball here. Tony Parker, Jamal Crawford on him. The same matchup they've been going to every single time. Tony, go early. The float over Shaq. How did he get that in? Lakers, no timeouts left. 16 seconds on the clock. They're pushing the pace. Jamal Crawford with it. He's slowing it down. 10 seconds left on the clock. This has to be time for Kobe or Shaq. One of them has to handle the ball here. They get it to Kobe in the post. JJ Redick on him. The fade. The pump. It's gone! Kobe B. Bryant is clutch. He nails it in. The nail in the coffin. This one is over. It's Black Mamba, baby. Kobe Kobe had new confidence after the huge shot, and he faced Pau Gasol in the conference finals. In this reality, they were not friends though, and Kobe was not going to let him stand in the way of his trip to the finals. He overwhelmed the Grizzlies team with a gentleman's sweep and earned a rematch versus LeBron James. Kobe and Shaq came into this series locked in. Their foot was on the pedal from the start, and they were not letting up. They'd go on to win games, but they would keep their composure without celebrating until it was finished. It was reminiscent of the early 2000s, and they would go on to win this series. What a way to cap off this incredible postseason with a sweep of the Cavaliers. Shaq gets another finals MVP. And the fun really began with the 2009 free agency. The best point guard in the NBA decided to join Kobe and Shaq. From here on out, the lobs would be plentiful in Los Angeles. Whether it was Kobe or Shaq, CP3 was throwing it up high, and they were feasting. Their bench was horrible, but they had the best trio in league history and finished atop the Western Conference. A round one rematch with Memphis went the same as last year, and they'd run it back versus the Spurs as well, but this time they won easily, and in the conference finals, they yet again had a rematch with Dallas with the same result. The finals wasn't a rematch though, as Wade would take the Eastern Conference throne from LeBron. He earned the MVP during the regular season, and you could tell why. It was an exciting duel between him and Kobe going at each other in the post. One after another, they would attack the matchup with success. Wade was also paired with Josh Smith, who in this reality was a superstar. They were a high-flying duo with a lot of potential, but Shaq would again be the difference, as Bogut guarding him wasn't going to cut it. He gave Andrew hell every match, and the fatigue was setting in guarding the 300-pounder. And this trio was going on to win their first ring together after 6 games. The next season, they definitely underperformed. I think that the lack of the bench is finally catching up to them. They even lost some of their front court, and Shaq is pretty much the only big man they have left, and he's 37 years old. And to add insult to injury, they had to face a very talented Clippers team in round one. They'd addressed their bench issue by playing the starters heavy minutes. Leaning on Shaq at 37 years old was a risky business, but it was paying off. He was taking care of business, and their big three stepped up when it mattered the most. How did they sweep the Clippers? This team was stacked, and the Lakers were terrible, and somehow they won. The next round wasn't going to get any easier for the Lakers though. Dallas had been improving year by year, but the Lakers consistently beat them. This time could be different though, as Dallas added Ginobili to the team. Their group of guys were great, and they had a deep bench. They'd go up 3-2 in the series, but Kobe would carry his team to the Game 6 win and force a Game 7. Luckily, in the pinnacle of this series, Shaq had just enough left in the tank for another 40-point performance to help his team advance. Unfortunately, a T-Mac and Garnett duo was waiting for LA in round 3, and they were scary. This duo was in full control of the series early, and the Lakers risked being swept. The Lakers are down 3-0 in this series. They're also down by 2 in this match. They risk being swept for the first time I think ever. Kobe driving it, delay, he gets it and ties this thing. Williams has, I think this is Lou Williams. They have Tony Parker, they have T-Mac, they have Garnett. Garnett setting the screen. Dunleavy, you have to pick it up. The tough pull, Garnett gets the board, and he dunks it in. Get the ball into Kobe Bean Bryant's hand. The pick and roll with Shaq. They get it down low to Kobe. Mismatch, post fade. It's in! Lou Will sinks both free throws. Kobe has it. I have faith in Kobe. Trust in Kobe. He's driving it. Oh, he misses the lay. There's no way. Lou Will on the other end. Now you have to get a stop. You have to get a stop. Why are you fouling? And you could definitely tell Shaq's getting old. He had probably his worst game of his entire career. Next season, Shaq announced it would be his last. The team rallied for one final push with the big Aristotle. Round one of the playoffs was a laughable matchup led by Sean Livingston. As you'd imagine, Kobe was ready, and it'd be an easy win for the Lakers. And I'll be honest, we got pretty lucky here, because Kevin Durant and Amari are on the Nuggets, and they got upset by the Grizzlies, so we have an easy round 2 matchup. It was the same old Pau Gasol-led Grizzlies that the Lakers have beaten multiple times. Shaq would be a major key to success in this series, battling with the bigs. CP3 would help him get going on offense in the pick and roll, and they'd scrape by in 7 games. And I promise you guys are not going to believe what is waiting for the Lakers in the conference finals. LeBron James created a super team in Dallas. I guess instead of a super team in Miami in this reality, he makes one in Dallas. He joins forces with Dirk, David West, and Mike Conley. On the bright side, though, their bench was awful compared to the Lakers. Kobe was turning the clock back in hopes of helping his friend Shaq get one more. Even with the new top player in the league defending him, he was finding ways. Except this wasn't a cakewalk by any means. LeBron was still dominant, and at this point in Dirk's career, he was as desperate as anyone to win a ring. Kobe wanted it just as bad, though, and put his team in a spot to get it. And I truly cannot believe they forced a Game 7 with Dallas. So far here early, it's pretty close, but it's looking like the Lakers are starting to pull away. They have a pretty sizable lead. The Lakers do it. They're going to the finals. And you got to be fucking kidding me. Another super team. I mean, this is ridiculous. D-Wade, Iverson, K-Love, Blake Griffin, Lamar Odom, Sean Marbury, what is this? This Knicks group was insane and stacked with scoring potential. Both of the guards were elite at creating for themselves, and the bigs were crafty enough to score consistently in the post. They defend their home court and get off to a strong 2-0 lead. Their one weakness became apparent in LA though. Size was against the Knicks, and with AI guarding Kobe, it was a mismatch every trip down. Even Shaq was finding success versus the small bigs, even though he was pushing 40 years old. And with Chris Paul playing his part in offense and defense, the Lakers also protect their home court. In a huge game 5, Wade and Kobe were battling it out again. This wasn't their first duel, and it was just as close as last time. This crucial match would be decided in the final moments. The Lakers are up in a crucial game 5. Most teams that win game 5 go on to win the series, so this is huge. Dwayne Wade has it, down by 2 for the Knicks. Chris Paul is guarding him. Kevin Love screen. Wade curling around it. Jamison picking him up. Dwayne Wade the tough leg. It's off. The Lakers get the rebound. The Lakers use their last timeout. Hopefully they draw up a good play. The only play they need is give Kobe the ball. He's driving it. The lay. Shaq with the board. The put back. Come on. The Knicks have it now. You're going to stop here. And you're going into game 6 up 3-2. Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul on him. Oh, the floater. It's off. Kobe has it. Kobe's on the free throw line now. And this one is pretty much over. Coming off of a massive win, CP3 had a legacy-defining caliber game 6. He had his career high of 43 points in a playoff game, and the Lakers had done the unthinkable. Oh my God. Oh my God, they won. They won. They won. They beat him. How is that possible? Kobe and Shaq ended up winning 7 rings after I forced them to stay together. But how many rings can Anthony Davis win if I forced him to stay healthy? Find out by clicking this video next.